What's going on, everyone? Welcome to 2025. It's kind of chilly out today. It's 44 degrees, but there's a breeze and it's just kind of cold. A little odd for the 3rd of April, but it is what it is. We just got off of a little bit of a wet pattern. It's been raining here quite a bit since last Friday. The weekend we got a couple inches of rain, and then here yesterday we got a bunch of rain. It probably, if I had to guess, I don't know the exact numbers, but it was probably around 1.5 inches. It's a little bit wet outside, but the ground seems to be taking the moisture pretty well. Today we got a few things going on. I got seed coming, so I'm gonna have to back the planter out. But we got all kinds of projects going on here. The tool truck, we're putting a new service bed on it, which is right there. We're just wanting to get some more enclosed space for tools and parts and all that stuff. So we'll lose fuel tank capacity. We'll probably put a 100-gallon tank in here, and then one of the other trucks will have another 100-gallon tank on it. So right here is where the seat is gonna go, right where the tractor is. That tire's gonna have to get fixed on there. Tires have been a thing this year. We did a little bit of shuffling around last weekend in between the rains, and this was flat. Header trailer, the tires were flat. So not a year for tires, I guess. Might get this stuff out of here, and then this can just sit outside, because I want to keep this inside. Still got some work to do to this yet. I had it apart already, putting new opening discs on it, and then we were putting smart firmers on row 2 and row 11. The reason it's still in pieces is because those smart firmers were waiting for the brackets yet to hold them on. We thought we had the brackets, but we didn't. They weren't the right ones for these Caton seed firmers. It's more of a heavy duty bracket. Obviously there's a lot more going on there. So we got tanks in for our 32%. Well, the seed delivery, they're bringing it in a semi and van trailer. So that should be interesting to get in here. We got the semis up here because we were actually going to have to use them this spring for fertilizer. So we had to get them up here, so we can get the trucks maintenance and trailers as well. Just greasing and normal year-to-year maintenance. So you guys are probably wondering, fertilizer. This leads me into the title of this video. This is another thing we're gonna have to use to get it out of that trailer. So kind of excited about this. This completes our selection of equipment. Now we don't have to hire anything out. So yes, we bought a fertilizer spreader. Here it is. So this is our Rogator 1100. So a little rough around the edges, a little bit of rust, a couple of problems here and there, but overall a lot of the big stuff like suspension and everything else was all good, or was all done recently. So it has newer technology in it. It's a Viper 4. Other than our sprayer, when we first got that, was a glitched out insight, which, nothing against Aglater, I like Aglater stuff. The Raven stuff I'm not familiar with, which I'm gonna have to get very familiar with it. I already had this out in the field, kind of playing around with it a little bit, just making sure everything worked auto steer wise, and the belts turned and kept up to speed and everything there. So we won't know exactly for sure until we get fertilizer in it, which hopefully in the next week we can, but just depends on how wet stuff is. We have filters to change, oils to change. We're going to change all the oils in it, so then they're on our maintenance schedule. And the AC is shot. We have a new compressor and some of the new parts that goes with that, so the whole system is going to be new. And then box is the jack which is currently off in the shop. We're gonna actually fab up a jack, because that was a simple trailer jack. And for the door, or gate for the box. So a few things to do. We're not gonna attack the rust until we're done with this season, as it's not terrible, but we'll have spots to fix. So that'll be a good winter project for next winter. So yeah, we got ourselves into another project or another thing to do for the year, which is great, which is awesome. I welcome it. So we also got the drill out for the reason that we're actually going to be planting quite a few soybeans this year with the drill, just because we got a lot of corn this year, and we want to keep the corn planter rolling on corn as much as we can. So we are going to get this little guy started up, and probably should just get this out of the way. Gotta make sure it's in neutral. It's a little cold. So yes, this is actually a different tractor, kind of, than the other one we have, which is sitting down there. We'll eventually get it running again, but so we've been looking for power steering for one of those, and you can't find it anywhere. So then we've actually found a two-wheel drive one, because you can see its frame is that, with a blown motor. Or the rod decided to take a trip out the side of the motor or the side of the engine. So we swapped the motor from the other one to this one, and now we got this one here. So it has power steering, but doesn't have four-wheel drive, which eventually down the line we'll take the four-wheel drive off the other one, but kind of want two of them. So it's the fact of finding another engine, and we could get that other one working, but that other one needs rebuilding. Nice little tractors. Don't have a bunch of electronics on them either. We're gonna put it right there. Alright, well, this must have not ran today yet. Should probably let her warm up a bit. Still gonna let her warm up a bit. Take and smooth this out a little bit, just because we're going to stack those boxes up and need for them to be at an angle. It's pretty flat in there already, but I'd really like to get gravel in here. It's like river bottom crap, dirt, whatever. It's work, but the thing I hate about it is it gets all over everything when you drive something in here, because it just puffs up in a big dust cloud. Eventually down the line I'll put some gravel in here. we also got new tracks for this thing. We've just been trying to wear these ones out the rest of the way, but there's a lot of, can't really see it now that it has dirt on it, but you can see it some here. There's a lot of cracking and stuff. It's worse on the bottom. Alright, so I'm gonna deal with the tire conundrum quick, because that's gonna come out after the seeds here. Yeah, this tire's pretty flat. There's no air in it. When you fill it up, you can kind of hear it coming out, so the air coming out. But probably should just jack it up and get it off right away. Maybe once I find its resting spot for a little bit, we'll do that. Alright, we'll put 25 pounds in there since it's all gonna We do have a little bit of work to do to this drill this year, just fixing some gauge wheels and I don't know, its opening just seemed fine. This thing doesn't see a lot of acres, so it's usually a get up and grease up and go type deal, but a couple of these gauge wheels need replace and some bearings on here. This thing is probably gonna see a little over half of our soybeans, so, or thereabouts. So, like I said, we don't have a lot of soybeans this year. Alright, so we got all of our seed in, have it all stacked up and put away in the corner. Feeling cute, might go plant some beans. I don't know, we've tried early beans in the past and they never really worked out. We had one year where they worked out really well. They ended up being our best beans of the year, but the last 2 years we've done them, just, I don't know, they really haven't panned out. Granted, the last 2 years have been rough years for growing beans. It's like one extreme to the next, or basically opposite extremes. Where the 2023 season, we had good moisture in August, but the beans were already stunted from the lack of moisture in early season. Where then last year they were stunted from too much rain early, because we got basically our year's total, we got over our year's total rain in about a month and a half. And then August came around and the water shut off. So hopefully we have a better year this year to get my wanting to grow beans go back up a little bit. I should probably move that. That is our backup generator for the farm. Had to get it out from in the shop, or in the back of the shop where we keep it, and run it a little bit, get everything cleaned out, get some fresh fuel in there, and then it's just the fact of putting it back now. All right, we'll leave it there for now. All right, let's see about not breaking anything. Kind of finagled myself in here really good on Saturday. So I'm just gonna throw this down there. I'm gonna have to get it moved anyways. This weekend we're gonna try and get soil finisher done along with the spreader. Go through the spreader, get that all going, because hopefully next week I'd like to go out and get a load of potash and pan test this. Now we're not spreading potash this fall or this spring. We're waiting until the fall to spread potash. Just for availability, and we'd like to put our DAP out in the spring because there is nitrogen in there, and we would like to keep that nitrogen. So, because if you spread the DAP in the fall, then the nitrogen goes away over the winter time. So that's kind of our logic in that. But we have some wheat ground that we'd like to put a little potash on, since we haven't got good potash on it here since it's been soybeans last. So and which it's going into beans this year again. So we're just gonna go throw some potash out on there, get a good test with this thing, and we'll do a pan test, make sure it's spreading even. We're gonna probably shoot for 80 feet. Should be interesting. So hopefully we start seeing some action with this guy. Kind of anxious about that. I was that way with the sprayer too. It's kind of anxious to get in there. You're a little, not so much intimidated, but you know, you really want to see how it works. And you know, I'm looking forward to running that thing. Just like I enjoy running equipment. So favorite thing to do on the farm. With all that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. We have a lot of cool videos coming, so stay tuned to the channel, and I hope you all enjoy. Later.